Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is CP Academy, and this series is going to introduce you to the C++ programming language. It doesn't matter you are beginner or intermediate or even professional level, I will explain C++ basics to advanced in this tutorial series. Let's start. What is a programming language? A programming language is an artificial human-created language, which translates instructions from human-readable format to a computer-readable format. It has become a main method of instructing a computer to perform specific tasks. Each language has its own special set of keywords and syntax, which makes each programming language unique. Evolution of programming languages. In 1946, a German engineer called Konrad Zuse developed the first programming language called Plankalkül. However, the world's first commonly used programming language shortcode was developed 3 years after that. Since then the innovation of programming language began. In 1951, Grace Hopper began designing the world's first compiler. In 1954, IBM began the development of Fortran. Fortran became the first commercial high-level programming language. Fortran 2 was presented in 1958 with new features. COBOL, Common Business-Oriented Language, was created in 1959, which is still used in many companies. Some of the programming language like ALGOL 60, APL, Snobble, BASIC, and Pascal appeared later. In 1972, Dennis Ritchie created the C language and its documentation appeared after 2 years. Today the world has come a long way and we have very powerful programming languages like C++, Java, with object-oriented features. In this tutorial series consider about C++. C++ is an object-oriented programming language, developed by Bernd Strastrup at Bell Labs during 1983-1985. After introduction of C++, it has become one of the most popular commercial programming language. It also runs on most computers, from PCs to the most powerful supercomputers, and C++ is viewed by many as one of the best language for creating large-scale application. Okay guys, let's start our C++ tour. Characteristic of C++. C++ has certain characteristics over other programming languages. First one is support object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming allows the programmer to design applications based on the concept of objects and interaction between them, simplifying the programming task. This makes it easier to solve larger and more complex problems. Another one is generality. Apart from the normal computation tasks, C++ can be used to develop databases, business applications as well as graphical applications. Portability. A C++ code can be successfully compiled and run in almost any type of computing environment or operating system with or without minimum changes to the source code. Reusability. C++ programs allow a greater reusability of code. Therefore, new functionality can be added to the existing code with or without minimum changes to the original code. Modular programming. A C++ application that has been made up of different individual components can be modified and maintained of the other components, so the whole application need not to be compiled when making changes to a single component, saving programmers effort and time. Another one is concision. Codes written in C++ are very short in comparison with other language because of the use of special characters and keywords, and this saves some effort of the programmer too. C compatibility. C++ is backward compatible with C language, which means a code written in C can easily be included in a C++ program without making any changes. Speed. The resulting code from a C++ compilation is very efficient, hence it produces efficient programs. Maintainability. C++ programs are easy to maintain. For example, when the business requirements change, the program can be extended and enhanced without a great expense. What is a program? A computer program is a collection of instructions that describe a task or set of tasks to be carried out by a computer. Computer programs are normally designed for problems that would be difficult or impossible to solve by other ways or to solve a certain problem more efficiently and effectively. These programs can be simple or very complex depending on the requirements. Programs can be developed for straightforward calculations like adding two numbers or for more complicated problems like guiding a satellite into the right orbit and handling the transmission of data. Almost every program performs three basic tasks in solving problems, irrespective of whether it is simple program or more complex program. First one is, manipulate data. Programs manipulate data by accepting data from inputs, create new data and sorting them, or modifying existing data. There are two fundamental forms of data that are facilitated by the programming languages. One is textual data. In textual data contain characters and strings, and another one is numerical data. In numerical data contain numbers. Second task is, perform operations. In order to produce results from data, operations are being used. Programming languages are used to give instructions to perform operations. A simple example of an instruction would be adding two numbers. Last one is, provide results. After performing operations, results are generated, and it can be information or data to another operation. It can be displayed on a screen, stored in databases, used to produce reports, or it can be transmitted to another computer. Compiling and executing a C++ program. C++ is considered as a high-level programming language. They are English-like and closer to human language, which is easy to read, write and maintain. Since the computer can understand only the machine language, a program that is written using C++ needs to be translated into the machine language before executing. This translation is performed by a very specialized computer program called a compiler. The programming code that is written is called the source code. Hence, for the compiler, the input is the source code and the output is the machine code or object code. We can argue that the compiler translates the source code into an intermediary form, as the object code cannot be run in the computer. Therefore we need another program called a linker, which is invoked by the compiler, in order to translate the object file into an executable program. Only an executable program can be run on the compiler. Here the compiled object file is also linked with a function library in order to produce the executable program. A library is a collection of linkable files, which can be linked to a program. These libraries are supplied with the C++ compiler, but a programmer can also create his own set of libraries to be linked with the program. And Visual C++ .NET by Microsoft are popular among them. You can use a specific tool or even a text editor like Windows Notepad or the DOS edit command to write your source code. Source code is the series of C++ statements that you have written, and it can be a single file or a combination of several text files. The text files has to be saved with the extension .cpp or .cp or .c, and the source code has to be compiled using the compiler. For different compilers the compiling commands are different, so you have to use the compiling command according to the type of compiler you have. In this tutorial series we use Borland C Compiler. A successfully compiled program produce the object file which has the .obj extension. Since the compiler invokes the program is linked with the needed libraries and produces the executable file with the extension .exe. The diagram shows the steps involved in developing a C++ program and the files that are involved in each operation. The programmer can write the source code using any kind of a C++ editor and save it. When the programmer compiles the program, it generates both the object file and the executable file. When programmer run the program, the executable file is loaded and executed. How to install Borland C Compiler and CodeBlocks to your computer. First of all, you will have download two softwares, called Borland C Compiler and CodeBlocks. So don't worry, I have already provided you the link of these softwares in the description of the video. After download you can see a zip folder. Extract that and install them. I will explain how to install these software one by one. Remember that you must first install Borland compiler. After that you can install CodeBlocks. Okay. Let's see. How to install Borland C Compiler. After download, open your downloaded folder and extract this zip file. Open this file and you can see another file and open it. Now you can see application as C free. Right-click on this application and select Open. Choose your language and click OK. In this dialog box click Next. Now you can accept license agreement. Then click Next. Where are you want to install Borland compiler? You can choose your own location or leave default location. If you want to change installing location click Browse then select your folder, it's up to you. I leave default location then Next. OK, there is nothing to change, click Next. If you want create desktop icon or quick launch icon you can tick this boxes, after that click Next. This is final stage. After click install you can install the Borland C compiler to your computer. OK, next step is how to install CodeBlocks. Let me tell you that CodeBlocks is an open source cross-platform IDE for C and C++ programming. If you are interested in C++ programming then you have to use CodeBlocks IDE to write and execute your C++ code. To download this software click link in the description. After download, let's open the folder where you download the software and right click and select Open. In next dialog box click Next and give to I agree for the license agreement. In this dialog box don't select or deselect anything then click Next. Where are you want to install this software? You can choose your own location or leave default location, it's up to you. If you want to change default location click Browse and choose your location, I leave default location, after that select Install. Your first program in C++. Now that we have downloaded and installed the CodeBlocks IDE, let's open it up and take a look at some of its features. Click your search icon, then type CodeBlocks. Now you can see the CodeBlocks application, then select Open. The CodeBlocks IDE is a standard Windows application, so things are in the places that you expect them to be in a Windows app. We have menus across the top and icon toolbar. Left is what's called the management window, will contain information about our C++ project including file names and different symbols. The middle of the screen is the main work area, that's where our C++ code will be located, but for now before we have a program open it gives us link to create a new project. Below the main area is a log window. That window will contain messages about our program as it's being compiled and if there's any errors during the compilation. OK, now let's go through the process of creating a new project. So click on the link Create a new project. Next it asks you for a template. A template is just a type of application that we want to create. We're going to be mostly working with console applications, so select console application in this window. Then click Go. Now you can see, it asks us which language we want. This is C++ course, so we're going to select C++ and click Next. Then it asks us for a project title. The title can be anything. For this particular example I'm just going to call it Demo. Then it asks you what folder you want to create the project. I created a folder inside Documents folder called CP Coding. Once you've entered all this information then click Next. Now it asks, what compiler we want to use. Come up to this drop-down menu and select the Borland C Compiler, that will be the compiler we'll use for this course. After select compiler you can hit finish button and you can notice on the left in your management window, it's created a new project called demo and created a new folder called sources. Source is where we're going to place the code that we're going to write. If you'll expand that you can see main.cpp, we can double click to see the contents. The contents contain a template program that's already built for you. Okay, I delete this project. To do that press Ctrl and A together to select all and hit delete button. Now I type a new simple program and explain line by line. Let's see. #include iostream.h #include iostream.h tells the C++ compiler's preprocessor to include the iostream standard header file in the program. The .h extension stands for the word header. This iostream file includes the declarations of the basic standard input-output library in C++. We have included this file in our program because its function ID is going to be used later in the program. #include conio.h. This is another header file used in C++ programming. Conio.h is used for the functions clearScreen and getch. Void main. In all C++ programs it is necessary to have the main function, independently of its location within the source code. Main function will always be the first one to be executed in any C++ program. A pair of parentheses indicates a function declaration. Every function has a function name, for example main, and a pair of parentheses that follow its name. Curly braces shows the body of main function. What is contained within these braces is what the function does when it is executed. ClearScreen, CLRSCR, is a function used for clearing the output screen. Cout. This line is a C++ statement. Cout is declared in the iostream standard file which we have included at the beginning of the program. This statement generates the visible effect that we can see as the output. This is my first program. Getch, getch, will pause the program while the output window is visible until the user hits any key. Semicolon character. In line 5, 6 and 7 the statements ends with a semicolon character. This character is used to mark the end of the statement and it is essential to include this at the end of all expression statements in C++ programs. We write a simple C++ program in. Now I'm going to execute this. Press build button like this. After that press run. We can see output like this. This is my first program. Our next topic is compile errors. Compile errors occur during the compilation process of a program. Compile time errors can occur either due to errors from the compiler itself or more likely syntax errors in the code. Nowadays, new compilers highlight the errors in a program, and also point out the exact place in the code where the mistake is. This program shows a demonstrate on compile errors. In this program, the closing parenthesis of the main function is missing, hence, the compiler will generate a compile error like this. So it is programmer responsibility to locate the errors and correct them. C++ case sensitivity. C++ is a case-sensitive language, hence, uppercase and lowercase letters are considered to be different. Therefore, the programmer should be cautious about this factor and use correct uppercase and lowercase letters when C++ coding. So, there's your C++ introduction. I hope you have learned something new in this introduction video. Please rate, comment and subscribe my channel. Bye for now. I will see you again with my next video about C++ data types and variables. Good luck.